I would like to invite our panelists for the day to take their seats and we open up the discussion. Thank you. I invite Dr. Collins Mwesije to take your position from WHO. I invite Maureen Nawatanzi from Ministry of Health, and the other officers will join us. But if someone is from Ministry of Trade, please join us. And if someone is from National Bureau of Standards, you could also join us. Thank you. Dr. Collins.
Thank you so much, Madam Oshunwu. My name is Collins Mwesije. I work for the WHO. My specialty in the WHO is environment and health. I've been invited by the organizer of this conference to speak on this subject, and we'll wait to see how it goes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maureen Nawatanzi. I am very humbled to be on this panel next to future mentors. So my background is public health nutrition, and right now I am a public health fellow with the Ministry of Health and the CDC. Yes, thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hafsa Kaswe, a medical doctor with public health training. At WHO, I'm the focal person for non-communicable diseases. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. And I'm Florence Chandelier once again. I work with Makerere University School of Public Health. Sorry, I got distracted. Our officer from National Bureau of Standards is going to join us shortly. Yeah. My first degree was in food science and technology. My second degree was in public health nutrition, and I combined these professions because I wanted to be able to do something that can help the country. I have grown up while observing or seeing undernutrition, but now undernutrition is existing with overweight and obesity, and also amid so many drivers of the food environment, including climate change. So I am at a crossroads. I would like to know how to handle these things and how I can contribute towards preventing these conditions in the country. Yes. So, Dr. Mwesije, as you have heard what I have presented, we would like to find out from you, how can we stakeholders work with WHO to come up with some regulations regarding advertising food and non-alcoholic beverages to children?
Thank you so much. Before I come to straight your question, I'll tell you some small story about my personal experience, and then I will come to your question. One time, you see, those of us who are from Uganda drive second-hand cars. Second-hand cars required to take care of them many times in the garages. So one day I was in the garage with somebody who was relatively big. If I would say it, who was like 3 times my size. That's really big. Eh? And we had waited, checking on the cars to see how they were preparing. And it was about 3 o'clock, we were getting hungry. I had taken 2 bottles of water. My colleague, who was outside, had taken 2 bottles of soda at the time. Then there comes this young girl who was selling food. Most of you would have seen it. It's food covered by kavera, plastic sheet. Eh? In there are eggs, chips, and tomatoes, and chapati. And the guy looked at the lady and said, "You, where have you been? I've been here starving. I want food like that, but don't give me one, I want 2, don't you see me?" And my husband says, "This guy is already in a problem in terms of the weight. And I was struggling to tell him not eat this food. And my mind was telling me he can shut you down. But the inner person in me told me that you have got a responsibility because you are educated on government money, and government money is taxpayers' money, and this is taxpayer. So my inner person that told me that told me to talk to the person. And I said, you know what, my brother, that food is not good for you. And he responded very quickly. If I was to put it in English quickly, it was, that's nonsense. Eh? And he said, my brother died in an accident. I'm going to die. So let me eat. I told him, it's not about dying, because all of us will die anyway. But it's the journey you're going to take to die. If you get diabetes, if you get hypertension, the life you're going to is going to be miserable. And when I said that, he said, oh, I've got a brother, a cousin brother who's got these diseases, and he's very miserable. Alright? He didn't listen. What am I saying? That many times when we talk about these problems of nutrition, we talk about death and figures of death, mortality. We never go down to look at the effect to the individuals and what it is. That one of the areas of study that one wants to look at is if one can study the cost of living with diabetes, the cost of living with heart disease, what does it cost you per year? And then the individual can start listening, because every person protects their money. Every person wants good life, but sometimes if you interpret the money, they want to listen to you because it's like, I'm going to spend 10 million shillings per year as long as I live. Then I have died prematurely. Because the death point is telling you to die, they die by accidents and by other things. Okay? So that's one message I want to send into the team to study about. The economics of living with diabetes. To the individual. Not to the general economy, but to the individual. Because we're talking to the individual and want the individual to change. That's one area we can look at. Now, coming to what we could do again is you raised the question about a billboard in front of the school advertising the bag, mouth-watering bag, okay? And it's good to the eye, it's good to test. But in the school system, that's why we expect to change behavior for lifetime. We sometimes have curricula that talks about nutrition, and the teachers teach nutrition. This is health-giving food, this is rather energy-giving food, this is carbohydrate, rather bodybuilding food, and that's where we stop. Are we getting into the schools to educate the children, our children, about functional literacy on good feeding? What should be eaten and what shouldn't be eaten? What's detrimental for our health? That's another area that one can find evidence in, if you go deep the curriculum in schools. Of course, the other one that you want to do is a double duty thing in terms of providing, for example, the children at school will drink these sugary drinks. Why? Because in the school system there's no safe water provided. So the parents at home are obliged to give children what to drink, and what they give them is some of these packets that you see that are packed, and they're bottles of sugar. The other day I was talking to a lady who was selling some little hardware, and she was drinking this drink called, it's packed with sugar, a lot of sugar. No, another one that is, yeah, one of them. And I asked, do you need to take this? He said, yes. It's okay. I said, no, but you see, look at it. I attracted her to preservatives. I said, there are preservatives in this. I said, yes. He said, you see, the people are supposed to preserve and they police it. Okay? But if you're still living, you don't need a preservative in your system. You preserve dead bodies. Unfortunately, when I went back and asked her, did you change your that? She said, yes, I changed. And she had a bottle of water that she was drinking it. I said, I think we need to communicate. And communicate in a manner that is effective. Okay? I don't want to take lots of time. I can talk on and on and on. I want to give the other panelists a chance. I've talked about education and communication that is effective. Alright? And then putting systems in place that would ensure, for example, schools have drinking water as a double gain, then we'll move in the direction of better education. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, just to build on what the doctor has introduced, I realize that Uganda is virgin land. Many of the situations that we are in because we don't know, or those of us that know have not actually passed on the sense of urgency about those situations. And I think this is one of them. We realize right now that the food industry is almost operating in an unregulated and untouched state. So we have all these food products that can market at any time. During let's say Saturday morning, if you just sat down and watched our local channels, many times they will show like cartoons. Now that is the time when you see many of these adverts showing up. I know there are some soda companies that are very notorious for targeting children. They have all these exciting cartoons jumping up and down after they take a sip, they turn orange and purple, and I don't know how a child is supposed to say no to that. Yeah? They even start singing along. You find that your child knows all those songs. So the next time they're at a shop, how are you going to convince them that this plain yogurt is what's good for them? Or this, water as opposed to the soda, or maybe a plain juice. So I think our first step should be really knowledge. And of course, we are going to need the help of academia. We need more research that is applicable to our setting. We need to know just what are, children consuming on a day-to-day basis. Like your average 5-year-old or your average 10-year-old. What food are they getting into their system? Are they meeting their nutritional needs, or are they just packing up on sugar and sweets and, and cholesterol? So I think research in those particular age groups is important. We also need to have research that's targeted to scenarios that we observe may put them at higher risk of consuming these foods. For example, children in boarding schools, when they are going to school, what do they pack? I mean, schools rarely regulate what children can take, except they are not allowed to take alcohol. But other than alcohol, I think anything goes. You have things like Apeta. For those of us that went to school here, you know what this is. For those of us that didn't, it's basically, because schools are not investing a lot in nutrition and food that they provide to their students, you find that they will provide maybe your basic posho and beans, which is very plain, no vegetables, there's nothing going on in there. So the students feel the need to improve on that food. How do they improve? They make oil, literally cooking oil, and then fry onions, yeah? And maybe put some curry powder or spice. Now you find that your child is adding this cooking oil, let's say 4 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons of cooking oil to every single meal. Or they're adding margarine, or they're adding ghee, So that is a lot of fat that they are adding to their food, and this is not regulated in any way. So we need to find out what are our children being exposed to. We need practical research, and then we can present this to the policymakers and say, look here, this is what our children are actually taking in, and what's the result? The result is we have, let's say, 11% of adolescent girls are overweight, stroke obese. We have type 2 diabetes developing in adolescents, which is unacceptable. And this is how much it's costing us. Yeah, it's costing us so much in treatment. It's costing us so much in other diseases, in time wasted away from school. So I think once we can do that, then we'll have a more firm foundation to negotiate with the policymakers to say that, okay, now we need to put a policy in place that regulates what food is available to our children. Thank you.
So what do I say now? Okay, thank you very much. Maybe I just wanted to just give a little background. The diseases or the malnutrition, the diseases that malnutrition leads to, we are thought to be diseases of the rich. And these are the hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, chronic respiratory diseases, and diabetes. Among others, there are many non-communicable diseases, but these 4 categories share risk factors. And globally, these 4 contribute 71% mortality, which means when you add everything else, including accidents that cause HIV/AIDS, infectious diseases, everything else that causes death, the non-communicable diseases, the 4, cause 71%, 41 million deaths are due to these diseases. And the beauty or the good thing about these diseases, they share risk factors. And one of these risk factors is diet, which is preventable. They have preventable or behavioral risk factors like diet, like harmful use of alcohol, you saw the picture there, like tobacco use, yes? So they share these risk factors and they can be prevented. Their use can be prevented, and if it's done so, then you can reduce all those factors. But they also have intermediate factors. When you eat too much, you may not die of, it does not directly lead to heart attack, but it goes through an intermediary condition. It may be obesity, and with obesity you get high blood pressure. The blood vessels are clogged, and high blood pressure is the leading cause of heart attack and stroke. So when you look for, so what causes high blood pressure is too much salt. Too much salt, too much fat, you get high blood pressure, and with high blood pressure, your chances of getting heart attack or stroke are 75%. So 3/4 of strokes and heart attacks are due to high blood pressure. In Uganda, okay, this is globally. We may say, oh, maybe that is for developed countries. But even in developed countries, where they have contained nutritional conditions and infectious diseases, the people in those countries who suffer from these diseases and die young, that's below the age of 70, are the vulnerable. The vulnerable groups in those developed countries. And furthermore, in 85% of the people who die premature, that is below 70, are people in low-income countries. Okay? Low-income countries like Uganda. So in Uganda, what do we have? In Uganda, according to the survey that was done in 2013, the NCD STEP survey, 24.3% of Ugandans have hypertension. And managing hypertension is not a simple thing. It's something you do for life. 24% of Ugandans have this problem. So you should not be surprised to see people getting stroke and heart attacks in Uganda here. And investigating a heart attack, 2.5 million, even a doctor cannot afford. In general practice, a doctor cannot afford just an investigation, let alone a bypass. So these are the kind of things we should be thinking about, that we thought we are very far from us, that we thought we are for developed or for the rich people. And yes, I agree with my friends that there is a lot of lack of knowledge. Although these 24% people had high blood pressure, they were not aware, 76% did not know. It was for the first time we took the BP that we was ill. I thought I had malaria, because sometimes feel weak, others get a headache, so they thought they had malaria, and people have a habit of treating themselves. You don't go to a facility, you treat yourself. So you get a headache because of high blood pressure, and you take an anti-malaria. You know, you get a headache because of high blood pressure, you take Panadol. Eventually, the first time you present will be with a stroke. And at that point, you may not be able to recover fully, if you recover at all. And given the challenges of our system, we have a challenge in this country, that the system is not yet primed to manage chronic diseases. Communicable diseases, you get malaria, 3-4 days, you're okay, you go home. And you may take your time to get another bout. But once you have a heart condition, once you have diabetes, once you have high blood pressure, it's treatment for life, and it's not cheap. The drugs in the market are expensive. they are really expensive. Okay, what am I saying? We can do a lot, like you say, prevention is better than cure. There's something we can do. People always get sick, but there's something we can do about the diet. Diet, according to the survey of 2017, there's some surveys that were done about contribution to disability and just like yes, nutrition and dietary we are the leading contributors to disability. We are leading contributors to this. Even contributing more than high blood pressure, contributing more than tobacco and all other causes. So diet is quite a very important cause of these conditions. I was saying in Uganda, we are unlucky that we have both spectrums of malnutrition. We have undernutrition and we have overnutrition. On the undernutrition side, 8% of people aged 18 to 69, 8% have undernutrition, are malnourished, adults malnourished. On the other side, we have overnutrition. 87% of the women are overweight or obese, and about 4% of men. But that's not a good thing. Okay? And this is in Uganda, this is local data. So what can we do? What do we want us, the community, the public, private sector, the government to do? We need policies. We don't need to reinvent so much. There are many things we can do while we are generating more local data. Because our country has signed all those global commitments, like not marketing non-alcoholic sugar-sweetened drinks to children. We signed that. There was no reservation, there was no abstention. So we are part of those. There are strategies for health care and discontinuity. Those are global strategies. They are available and we can use those while we are generating local data. What we know is that there is not enough awareness about what people should eat. Vegetables and fruits are good for us, but in our survey here, over 87% men, women, and 88% men, we're not eating adequate fruits and vegetables. They think fruits are for children, vegetables maybe. If you eat vegetables, then maybe you are a poor person. Eating meat is for, it's a good thing. It shows that you're rich, you're affluent, you're eating meat. So we don't have adequate knowledge. So for me, what can we do? We need to educate the public. First of all, to know what is good for us. What should we eat? In what quantities? Because we don't know. We know that if you fry your food, you super saturate your oil, then you're doing a lot of good to your food. It will taste better, but you're killing yourself. So we don't have enough information. The other thing, the implementation of policies, or even policies, the local policies, we don't have enough policies and standards that are enforceable. For instance, when you go to a supermarket and you pick the nutritional content, it's almost in italics. Nobody ever reads it. It's small font, you can't see it. Even the child who's buying, who will see, they are not interested in that. But for some countries where they have done a lot, there is color coding, you see? Okay, in terms of salt, what does this Pringles, what do Pringles contain in terms of? Then you can say, okay, this one is green, that means the level is good. This one maybe is orange, on the high side, maybe this one is red, so that you make an informed choice. Our products will not give us the opportunity to make informed choices. Food dietary information on these packs in supermarkets is not legible. You can't read it. And people don't even know that they should be reading to understand what they are eating. So yes, we need a lot of information to the public so that they know what they are choosing, so that they make informed choices. But you also need enforceable policies to compel the manufacturers, the importers, the traders, the hoteliers to provide healthy foods. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
At this moment, I'd like to invite Dr. Mufuliro Hakim from National Bureau of Standards to come and join us. Thank you for coming. Dr. Kasuri has just mentioned that we need enforceable standards, and you're from the standards organization. So good, I'm going to let you catch your breath, but I want to follow up with Dr. Mwesigwa. You mentioned about us educating children in school and telling them what to eat, how to eat it, and other food choices to make. But then I would like us to look at in-school advertising and around school advertising of food. In fact, that is why I picked that big burger. Now, members who are seated here, I'm not saying don't eat burgers at all. Nutritionists don't do that. You eat in moderation, yeah? But I want us, for today's panel discussion, I want Dr. Mwesigwa to comment about that poster, that huge billboard by KFC that was near, it was around a few meters around the school. And then also in-school advertising. Yeah, in-school advertising is the focus of today's discussion.
Thank you so much, friends. I don't have to say it's wrong, it's wrong. You know it's wrong to do that. But my sister here and the other one talked about regulation and enforcement. But before that, let's look at those would-be policy makers and regulators are doing. You've seen a big do for Rolex. Have you seen that Rolex? My brother may not know it, but it's chapati rolled in eggs, all of them fried in oil. And it's what we advertise in as a country as our something that attracts people. In Uganda, we could even advertise, come to Uganda, eat fresh food, eat organic food, right? And that's all we could advertise and attract the tourists that want to attract. But you see the person in trade and industry and tourism advertising that kind of food. You see, that's a person who should be on the other hand regulating what should be advertised, but he's advertising that kind of bad food. That shows you that this person interacts with the nutrition department and the Ministry of Health. The collaboration is required. I think there's not enough collaboration and interaction of stakeholders in this whole thing. Because if they did, I'm sure myself that tell them, sell to the tourists fresh, organic food, and it will bring them to Uganda, and sell them this deep fried, fatty food, full of cholesterol and bad sugars. So that's a point that when we see that happening, that for example KCCA that allows that advert to go on, no, that's not supposed to do that. Or for them they're saying you bring an advert, what you want is money for you to put up the advert, and we get our money, and you put your advert. Does the Ministry of Education know or enforce that in schools we shouldn't be advertising for these drinks and whatever it is? Do they know, as you mentioned, that they are also sponsor sports? That they are supposed to be sponsoring sports. At least in WHO, we are very sure that if you are dealing with alcohol, tobacco, you are no goes on it. Alright? Now, as we go into these sort of drinks, if they're going to advertise at the ground, you're going to do sports, we say no. Okay? That's why you see the collaboration, the interaction, the knowledge sharing in terms of moving things ahead. Because what is it that you gain when you say you earn maybe 100,000, 200,000 for an advert stand, and then you're going to pay to prepare one diagnosis of heart disease. But you're not generating one, you're generating very many. So are you creating a deeper pit to fill, assuming you are trying to get some little money? And what we see in the health sector, you're moving on to do a heart hospital. Okay? Especially this heart hospital, it's coming into what we're moving on, and that's what we're advertising. But are we saying to contain the problem, we are moving backwards, make sure they don't get heart disease? Those are the challenges. That's the academic, which you are. Should be able to raise this flag and raise it with information. Fortunately, this week we are commemorating World Health Day and we're talking about universal health coverage. And we had a presentation on last breakfast meeting that economists who are moving that health is a consumption department have now recognized that health is an investment and productive department. So the language we need to speak now and interpret is economics. Okay? You say yes, health is better than cure, rather prevention is better than cure. How? What's the difference? How do you interpret it? Are we involved now much more in making sure that we interpret this slogan into what is it for me? Okay? Than saying health prevention is better than cure. What do you mean? That the academia want to come out and do research and present it in that palatable way, consumer way to the common man down there, to the economist at a higher level, the policymaker in parliament, and to a minister to be able to state and say, I'm going to invest in this area because the gain for the dollar that invest or for the shilling invest is this. Thank you.
I'd like to give Dr. Mufumbiro an opportunity to tell us about how Uganda National Bureau of Standards enforces the standards, the global standards, the Codex Alimentarius standards, to juices, to flours, to milk, to all the food we eat. Yeah? Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator, for the opportunity to present. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Hakim Mufumbiro. I work at Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Sorry I came in late. I indicated that I was going to be engaged this morning. I'm glad to be here. I'm a standards writer. In standards, we normally focus on the development and promotion as well as enforcement. UNBC's core mandate is can be described into four different areas. The first part is development of standards. The second part is ensuring that standards are actually being met through our quality assurance systems, certification, imports inspection, surveillance. The third part is through testing. So when we develop standards, we have to ensure that all the products for each standard have been developed, we're able to test in our own laboratories. And the fourth part is metrology. Metrology is just the science of measurement. So if someone is selling 500 grams, it should be 500. That is the science of measurement. I'll mainly focus on the first two parts of standardization and quality assurance or conformity assessment. Specifically to answer the question of standards that we have been able to do, the truth of the matter is in Uganda currently, we do not have any lack of standards whatsoever. I've challenged anyone in any of the engagements I've been in to just tell me one product that does not have a Uganda standard. And more often than not, it's extremely difficult in Uganda to even just give me one product for which we have not developed the standards. So that means that actually for the development side, we're almost done. The next part is what I found the discussion which the previous panelist was giving, the issue of implementation and enforcement. And that's what goes into conformity assessment. For the products that are commonly traded in the market, the standards have been elaborated. So we normally focus on only the quality and the safety aspects of the products. We do not focus on virtually anything, everything. And the reason we do that is because standards are scientific. We must be able to check and confirm that someone is actually able to meet that particular standard. So for juices, for flours, for alcoholic beverages, for all sorts of products, we have already done the standards. The next step, which is now more critical and which UNBS, Uganda National Bureau of Standards, is now implementing, is the most recent regulation that we're having that is called the distinctive mark regulation. Previously in Uganda, we used to, certification of products was voluntary. So I'm sure if you see any of the products that sell on the market, you will find a UNDS mark on there. You should just check the bottle of water. There's a UNDS mark there, quality mark. The quality mark means that the product meets the standard for water. But that system was voluntary up to January 2019 when we issued the regulation to enforce mandatory certification. And that is the first step in ensuring that you cannot put products on the market unless they actually meet the standards. So we are now rolling out that, and we hope that by the time we close the year, we would have made very good inroads in terms of trying to regulate the market. But what we don't need to forget is that UNDS is just one of the regulators in the market. More often than not, many people try to assume that actually UNDS is supposed to be doing everything, which is not possible. If you look at the sector we're talking about, the food industry or sector that we're talking about, we currently have the Food and Drugs Act, which may be older than virtually many of us in this room. Developed so many years ago, 1964 or thereabouts, never been revised. It's not consistent with the current changes in the market. There was only activation of the drug component in the Food and Drugs Act, which gave birth to the National Drug Authority. So the food component in the Food and Drugs Act has remained idle. So even if you asked me who is in charge of food control in Uganda, you would not get a straight answer because it's not actually very clear who is in charge. So we only play a part, but we hope that the regulators, all in the system, are able to play a bigger role. The aspect of advertising, misleading information, and the perceptions in the market, all those are now the modern ways of how the society has changed. While the society is changing, the enabling laws are not really changing to consistent with the developments in the market. And that's one of the biggest challenges that we currently have. But all is not lost. From a UNDS perspective, I would like to assure you that when it comes to providing information regarding labeling, we have developed mandatory standards. So any food product that you will find on the market must have minimum labeling requirements, must meet minimum labeling requirements. For general labeling, just by saying this is a company X. To nutrition labeling, there is calcium, there is potassium, there is all sorts of minerals and vitamins in there. And to health claims, to probably say this product is rich in a vitamin X, or it is rich in a mineral Y, or it is can be able to. The curative part is normally a tricky area, and I wouldn't want to go there because we normally don't want to cross that line. Because the moment you try to become curative, then the product probably turns from being a food product to a drug, which we actually don't want to always go into. But we always advocate for health claims that can be substantiated. For you to tell me that the product is cholesterol-free, I'm interested as a consumer to actually consume that product, but can you substantiate what is the basis of actually putting out that information? I found, as I conclude the discussion about the eligibility of the information on the labels, and there is actually currently an interesting discussion at the Codex level. Codex is one that develops international standards, and my colleague from WHO is one of the parents in Codex with FAO. And there is a discussion on the front of the pack labeling, nutrition labeling, and that discussion has been very vibrant at the international level, where many people feel they should hide that information because probably in a part like Uganda, not very many people literate, so they wouldn't read the information anyway. Those are all schools of thought. But our interest is that for you to provide information, the main objective is that you provide information to the consumer. Whether they're actually able to read it or not, that's another issue. And of course, finally, the issue of advertising has been disturbing us for quite some time. Whereas we are advocating to put up good messages in the market, it appears to be to whom it may concern. And probably the issue that he has talked about of collaboration, working with all the regulators as a single unit, that's one of the avenues that will help us to actually have similar message. We are looking out for the same objective. It's not about money. We are protecting consumers, and everyone should be protected in the same way. And if you're talking about children, those are even more vulnerable, and we need to take even more pressing measures to ensure that they're actually protected. Otherwise, for now, that's what I can be able to share with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.